Hey guys, what's up? Brendan from WhisperNode here. We're back with part 2 of the Namada Shielded Expedition node setup tutorial. In part 1, we went through how to rent a VPS server from Contabo, how to download Termius, how to log into your server using Termius, using the root user and password provided by Contabo on default port 22. So in this tutorial, we're just going to make our server a little more secure by creating a user, changing the default port, and logging in with SSH keys from our local machine. Disclaimer, we are a professional validator. We do have many more security practices, firewalls that we set up, things to do to keep our keys safe, etc. But for purposes of this tutorial, I want to keep it basic. I want to keep it accessible to, the everyday crypto user who's interested in learning more about nodes. So just a disclaimer, I've had to kind of modify things and just think about a simple way to do it. So let's get started with that. So I'm over here on my local machine, and I'm just going to remove the files that I added here previously. All right, so on my local machine, what you're going to want to do, open up your terminal and change into your .ssh directory. That's where you're going to keep your SSH keys. You may have some already on there, but for this tutorial, let's just generate a new key pair. So to do that, I type in ssh-keygen, and then I'm going to name that key test keys and type in a password. You can name your key anything you want, and obviously enter in a password that is secure. So if I type ls-la after that, you can see I've now created the test key on my local machine in my .ssh folder. So that's going to allow me to use that to log into my Contabo server. So I'm over here on my Contabo server logged in under the root user like we did in the previous tutorial. And now what I'm going to do is create a little script to create a new user and prompt the user to upload the keys and change the ports. So you're going to type sudo nano create user.sh, and I've tried to kind of put together a simple script here to accomplish some of these tasks. Not exactly the way we normally do things, so bear with me. So I will give you guys a copy of this script and you can follow along. You're going to want to type in your new SSH port number here. So let's use like 16654 or something like that. You can use pretty much any number that's not normally in use. And what that script's going to do, it's going to go ahead and create a user. It's going to create some directories for your SSH keys, grant the user sudo admin privileges, and then tell you to upload your keys in some areas so you can use them to log in. And let's see, it's going to also disable password-based authentication in your SSHD config file. And we can take a look at that just to show you what it's doing in that file as well. And then it's going to restart the SSH service. So, all right, that looks good. So I'm going to hit Control X, hit Y, hit Enter, and now this script exists on my server. Now what I need to do is give it executable privileges. So I'm going to sudo chmod +x create user.sh and just verify it's changed colors there. So now I know it has executable permissions. And next I'm going to run my script. So a couple ways to do this. I can type sudo bash create user.sh, and then I'm going to give it a username. So I'm just going to create a user called Whisper Node. You guys can call it whatever you want and hit enter. All right, and then I just need to type in a password for my user and enter some details. Doesn't matter what you put in there. I just hit enter all the way through, hit Y. All right, and now I need to take that key, that public key that I generated on my local machine, and make sure I put it in this file here before I close out of my node or anything, because I've disabled password login and such. So if you do not add your key before kind of finishing these steps, you're going to lock yourself out of your server. So don't do that. So type sudo nano, copy your file there, and it's going to open that file up. And what you're going to do is now copy and paste your public SSH key in there. If you do it on like Mac terminal, like if you nano the public key there, it's just kind of a mess to copy and paste because it's so long. And I'm more accustomed to doing it with like Visual Studio. So if you guys have Visual Studio or some other code editor, it's probably easier to do it that way. So you're just going to navigate to that folder where you created the keys, and you can see here that it's much easier to work in the editor. So I copied that, and I'm just going to paste that key here. And you can see if I scroll over, it's a pretty long string there. So once you've pasted that in there, hit Control X, hit Y, and now my SSH key is in that folder. So now I should be able to sign out of the server. And now if I go to log back into my server using the root user under port 22 with that password they gave me before, oh, it's still working. Okay. So I should have disabled the password login and such, but it looks like I did not. So let me just bear with me 1 second here. Told you guys this isn't the normal way we do things, so what the hell is it? All right, so I'm just gonna go into my SSHD config file there. So sudo nano /etc/ssh. I guess my script commands didn't work there, so I'm gonna just go into that file and manually change them. I'll fix the script, but you can also do it this way. So change the port to 16654, and if I go down to the bottom, the other thing I wanted to change but didn't change was this permit root login, and I'm going to hit no. All right. So again, I'll try to fix the script there. Not sure exactly what was wrong. And then I'm just going to restart that. All right. Now, if I go log out of my server and try to log back in using the root user on port 22 with the password that they've given, it's going to fail because I've disabled that. That is the security measure. So if someone hacks your email and they see that email that Contabo gave you with your login information, that login information no longer works. That is why you want to do this, right? So what you need to do is go back to your host. You're going to have the same IP. You're going to change that port to the one we just, change that port to the one we just changed. Change your username to the new username. You're no longer using a password. you're using a key. So you can type the key there and you just choose the key type. And now I hit connect. This password is asking you for your SSH key password, the one you created, the one you entered when you created that SSH key. So I type that in, hit continue. And you can see now I am logged in under new user Whisper node there. So that's it for part 2. That one got a little weird. The script didn't exactly work, but I showed you guys another way to do it, which is actually even a little bit more in depth. So hopefully that gave you a little bit better of an understanding of how to create a user and make your server login a little more secure. Next tutorial, we're going to get into actually setting up those nodes. So see you guys in part 3.